Hello, everyone. Welcome to my Wednesday live stream. This week, I wasn't as planned, or this month, I wasn't as planned out in advance as I normally am, but I can share with you what I will be talking about this month. And what I opted to do this month is a little bit different than what I normally do. And so it's going to be sort of like a over the shoulder type of live streams where I'm going to talk about different AI tools, some of which I use on a regular and consistent basis. Some I have used in the past, but I've not used recently, so I'm not as familiar with the new updated capabilities. So we're going to be exploring them together. And then there may be one at least that I'm brand spanking new to, or maybe have only experimented with one time. So if you have any questions, as per usual, just feel free to post them in the comments and I will try to look as often as I can. But I also wanted to just let you know that I will try to make this as interactive as possible. So if you have questions about something that I'm doing on screen, I am going to try to keep an eye out on my chats, but I do have two monitors and it's going to take me a minute to get into this. So first and foremost, I'm going to be featuring, as the title describes, Descript. For those of you who are not familiar with Descript, Descript's been around for a while. I first got introduced to them, I believe it was in 2020 COVID time, when they approached me, and I used it from 2020 to about 2022, maybe early 2023. And then because I'm always experimenting with so many tools, I eventually had to let it go because it was just one of many that I was utilizing. They've gone through a lot of changes since then. And so I wanted to sort of reacquaint myself with them again. So that's why I'm coming in today. So I'm going to start by just sharing my screen. And as you can see, half of the screen's black, half of the screen's white. And basically what the difference of these two are is this is the app for Descript and this is their website. When I was using Descript back whenever that was, 22, whatever year it was, there was really only the ability to edit using the app, but now they've improved it so that you can edit on either the web or on the app. I have not used them thoroughly enough to determine if one's better than the other, but that is what you can do. So I'm gonna try to see if I can get the full screen up there for you so that you can see exactly what's going on. So I'm probably, for the purpose of today, going to use the web version because I've never really experimented with this before. But I am curious about what are the new capabilities. So when I left Descript, they had just partnered with Squadcast, which is it was a separate podcast recording company onto its own, and they merged with Descript. And if any of you are familiar with Descript's history, that is what Descript was originally, was a podcast editing platform. And so I had tested a couple of times the Squadcast recording, but I personally didn't care for it. But this again was well over a year ago. So I did some experimenting before I got onto this live stream, and I have to say I am impressed. I'm impressed enough that I would replace StreamYard, which is what I'm using now to do this live stream. I would not replace it for the live streaming capability because it does not do that, but it does record interviews. And that's the other thing that I use StreamYard for, and Squadcast so far is doing really well when it comes to that. So if you want to record in Descript, there are two ways that you can record. One is, let me see if I can get myself back up here. One is if you want to just do a quick recording within the app. And then the other one is if you want to sort of activate Squadcast, which is sort of a separate entity, and it sends you, even if you're in the app itself, when you go into recording, it will send you to a website where you have to log in and do all of that good stuff. So I just wanted to let you know about that. Sorry about that. All of a sudden I can't. There we go. So anyway, so if I wanted to just do a quick recording, I just need to record my screen, or I just need to record myself. These are where all the quick recordings are. Oh, it doesn't. Ooh, that is new. Wait a second. This is interesting. So from the website, you cannot do a quick recording from here. You can only do a remote recording. And this is the one that when you click on it, you see here, you have to get connected to Squadcast. And so in order for you to connect, you just have to click on that. I already actually have it opened here, but I'm just going to go through this process so that you can see what it does. And so it immediately, I don't know if you noticed, immediately identified my drive where I save all of my videos for Descript. Now, the reason why you can see me on the camera is because this is a secondary camera that I am using. Hopefully, I pray that there's no feedback. I'm not sure if you're hearing feedback. If you are hearing feedback, please, please, please let me know. But I'm gonna remove all of this stuff. Let me just do this just to make sure, just in case. So this is how the room opens, and then you're able to put in your name. You can then do all of these different settings. You can choose the microphone. You can choose the webcam. Even though I have two webcams, I only have one microphone that this would be pulling from. So I'm not even sure if there was ridiculous feedback a minute ago. And then when you're ready to join the session, you can just click here. I'm going to get rid of this one there, and you can just join the session this way. Once you have joined the session, the next thing that you, and also when you're setting things up, you can select the resolution that you want to record at. And let me see if it says it here. It does say here that 4K recording on Windows is not recommended. So the highest you would be able to go is 1080. I think that that's fine. Anything is better than like 480 or something like that. And so if you have any guests, if you want to interview anyone and you want to invite them, you would just click on this link here, and this will give you a link to share for your stage. So you would send this link that would be provided, and then you would send that to the participants that you want. And once they come in, you can just then bring them on stage. So it acts the same way as a Restream, as a Riverside, as a StreamYard when it comes to doing that. But if all you wanted to do was just to record yourself, which you have the capability of doing, and I'll just undo my mic here again, then you have the ability to just hit the record button, and then you can record. Now, what I opted to do, I keep looking at this thinking that I'm on, but I'm not. So let me look at this. One of the things that you can do when you're recording yourself using this for Descript, and I'm experimenting with this, is that you can read a script, or if you have some sort of a app on your phone that, or not on your phone, on your computer that is a teleprompter, you can read, because Descript has eye contact, and I'm going to share with you what that looks like. So the experiment that I did earlier was I recorded myself manually in Camtasia's recording. And then I also did myself using Squadcast, and I was reading a script. So I was glancing up and down every now and again to the camera, just so that I could see if eye contact would work within Descript. So once you're recorded and everything, you're done. What then happens once you're finished with this recording is you have the capability of either editing this video on or in Descript, or you can simply download the video to your computer. So I'm going to leave this session and just, you can see here that I have, oops, let's get rid of this. I have previous recordings. So you can see here that you can download either the MP4, the WAV, or the MP3. And if you did multiple recordings per session, you can download all of them, or you can just download them individually. So I went ahead and downloaded them. These are the two. This one actually I downloaded it and then imported it. And then this one actually was recorded in Squadcast and then opened in Squadcast. So and this one is an example of a video that I recorded in Camtasia. And this is an older video and I brought it in. But all three of these I am reading because I want to test out the eye contact, because that was, I think when I left Descript previously, it was studio sound. Oh no, eye contact had just come out. So that was working. So let's click on this and open this up. And the interface here looks the same way. Oh, you know what? This is edited already. Looks the same way as it does on the app. So that is a good thing. You don't have to worry about it looking differently or treating it differently in any way, shape, or form. I am going to do a new project, and I'm going to bring in a video that hopefully hopefully is not edited. So this one I'll do this. This one I think I did in Camtasia. So the first thing that happens when you bring in a video is that it will transcribe the video for you. So the next thing that happens is it's going to ask you to identify who's speaking, and it's based on the number of different voices that it hears. Obviously, I'm the only one talking on this one because this is my platform. My file, I have already had my name put in here, but you would typically have to type in your name if this is the first time that you're using it. And then you just click on done, and you could see over here that it says it's 75% transcribing. So it immediately starts to transcribe even before you identify who is speaking. And then the next thing that you see is that the transcript will formulate. So, okay. So this is the transcript. I think I made some mistakes as well as I tested. I wanted it to sort of have mistakes because I wanted to see if this would be able to have someone who is recording in one straight set, but you have, retakes, or you made a mistake, or you're just like mumbling to yourself or what have you, just to see if I would be able to edit these. So as you can see, if you're reading the text on here, I started twice, and I'm sure I made some more mistakes somewhere. It looks like it's just at the beginning. Okay, so it does have some errors, but the other main thing is that I'm not looking at the camera. So over here, again, because this is new for me, I've now noticed that all of their editing capabilities it's actually much more organized and structured. So you go under, I'm not sure why they named it Underlord, but Underlord is where all of like the super, really amazing AI features are. So under Sound Good, they have Edit for Clarity, and when you hover, it explains what each thing is. So it removes filler words, digressions, blather, or anything that is an obvious thing that needs to get cut. Studio Sound, which has been around for quite some time, is the feature that you would use just to enhance your voice or maybe get rid of any sort of background noise. Removing filler words and I'm like an expert at using filler words when I'm speaking, particularly if I'm not using a script. Remove retakes was new for me. That was interesting to see. And that removes any retakes. So, where you may have false starts, or you may even towards the end not really like how that version came out. So, you just go and do it again. This is supposed to be able to identify those retakes and remove them. And then the shortening of gaps is that's been around since the beginning of time for Descript, where they just remove spaces of dead space or silence in between sentences that go, and you can gauge how long that space is. And then obviously if it's a long enough video and you need to add chapters so that you can have the markers of the chapters in YouTube, because this also can export directly to YouTube, you'll be able to do that. So that's the first thing that I usually would want to do, is to edit for clarity or remove takes or something like that. But I'm anxious to go to eye contact. So eye contact, surprisingly, they still have it listed as in beta, but what is definitely new is the second one, the center active speaker. So it's to keep the speaker smack dab in the center. I think I am for the most part, so I don't think I need to worry about activating this, but I definitely want to activate this. And I have to say, I'm going to activate it now. And usually, there you go. It'll show you that it's being worked on. And what I had experienced a number of times with a couple of the tests that I did early. Oh, actually, let me put myself back up. I'll come back to the screen in a second. What I had noticed when I first experimented with this earlier today was that for some strange reason, it would come up with an error. And if it comes up with an error, I'm going to certainly cut back to that. And I couldn't figure out why it was coming up with an error. And the only conclusion I can come to, because it did eventually work, was either due to lighting, even though when I went on to their notes about this, lighting did not seem to impact the ability for eye contact to work. And also the other instance was, and this one worked. So let me cut back to, let me make this bigger. Oh, you can see that it's activated because it has the little toggle is officially over. If it didn't work, it would still be off. So that basically means now that it has moved my eyes from where they were before to where they are now, or to the camera. Now, like I was saying, I don't know if this is going to work every single time for everyone, because I know I had some issues when I first did it, because it just, for some bizarre reason, wasn't working. And I'm going to toggle it on and off as I play this so that you can see. And so I don't know if you can tell if this is close up enough. So let's toggle this off. And if you noticed, this is the largest. Wait, can I get this any bigger? This is the largest I can get this. Can I get this any bigger? I think that's the biggest I can get it, unfortunately. So it's really hard for me to make this any bigger, unfortunately. But what I wanted to show was not under effects. Wait, oops. Underlord, eye contact. Okay. So I wanted, let's go back to the beginning, and hopefully you'll be able to see. It's almost like they paste your eyes. It kind of looks a little freaky, but I had used this a couple of times and I got used to it. So I try to look at the camera when I start, or as often as I can, so that it gives eye contact or whatever it's going to underlord some sort of an understanding of where my eye level should be at. And then when it's activated, so it's activated right now. I don't know if you could see. I don't know if you can tell that I'm reading. So it's probably a bit more subtle than it needs to be, but for the most part, that's how this works when it's activated. And then the next thing that I would do once I'm finished with that is either edit for clarity or remove retakes. Now I know, oh, let me move this back to side by side. So I know that I have some retakes in here. So I'm going to just click on remove retakes and hit submit and see what it removes. And it usually, I guess that was the only one. No, see, wait, where did it go? There was, I guess not. Okay, so I guess that was the only retake. I don't know why the cursor is here. I thought there was another retake somewhere else. So it does remove the text, and you have the ability to leave that there. It's still going to start here, or you can have it to remove the text that is being ignored. So I can click this, and then that brings that there. Now you see this is a big gap from between when the video starts and when I start to speak. So you can shorten word gaps. And this is, let me do 0.5. Oops. 0.5. So let's do that. And that's the only one. So we're going to get it reduced to 0.5. Let's start back up here. So that is a lot easier. Now what you would want to do is if you need to go into effects, and where did I go? Oh, up here. And if you want to do any sort of color adjustment, you can certainly do that and then go over here to effect settings, and then you can, adjust the exposure or the contrast. If you need to do any kind of highlighting and shadows and all of that kind of stuff. So you can adjust any sort of effects that you may want to create for this. And then from there, once you're finished, you can just hit publish. I'm going to look and see if there's anything else. If there's something you want me to check out, please post it in the comments below. And obviously, if you're on replay, you can't do that. So I apologize. But I'm just trying to look and see if there is anything else that I might want to do. I don't ever really use green screen, but you do have the ability to do green screen. And then also what you're going to find under Underlord, let's, I guess, experiment with this a little bit more, is you do have the center active speaker. I don't know. I'm going to, oh, so this is if you, okay. So I don't need, let's see. Oh, okay. So that's how that would work. Interesting. All right. That makes sense. So I don't need that. Let's go back to Underlord, and you can generate an image. So describe any image you can imagine, and Underlord would create it. So this is for B-roll. If you want to do any kind of B-roll, the repurposing that used to be at the top before. So you can create, this is too short of a video to create clips. You can create a highlight reel. You can find highlights, and then you can translate into, I'm presuming, a lot of different languages, good amount of languages. Okay. That's not bad. That's pretty impressive. And that's it. And then for publish, you can draft a title. So this is usually using a very, stupid, silly, just quickly assessed title. So if I wanted to do draft a title, you can give it examples or give it instructions in terms of how you want it to think with regards to creating or drafting your title, or you can not put anything in and just let them do what they want. So this came up with 5 options. Welcome to our interactive Zoom session, connecting and collaborating. This particular session doesn't really need a title, but that's a good idea. What does follow-up do? Oh, and that's if I want to ask it. So this is the chat feature within Underlord with regards to being able to draft a title. So that's pretty good. And then obviously, if I need to summarize the content of this video, it will do that. I don't know. I guess you can do a summary from, let's see, the speaker welcomes participants of a session, which, yeah, okay, that worked. And then if you needed to ask it any more questions, if you liked it, then you would click on done. And show notes is definitely for podcasts. So there's no need to try to even create show notes, but it is a whopping 38 seconds long. So, okay. So it says, okay, all right. It did a pretty decent job considering it's a less than a minute long video. So that's pretty impressive. And then let's see what else. It can create a YouTube description if this is a video for YouTube. It can draft a social media post. It can also draft a blog post from whatever the video content is. And then these also used to be here. Brainstorm was there when I was using it last. So Brainstorm is where you can get ideas or hone your ideas and use Underlord. You can create a script, you can create an outline, and then you could rewrite your script if you want. Other features that they definitely have include overdub, which is using your voice as an AI voice. I've already done that when I was first on it, but I do want to experiment with that a little bit more. And then I wanted to also show you this. I'm going to put the cursor here. This feature for record, and this is where you can record. Let me see what camera it's going to try and pull. Okay, so it is getting this. So you can record into your script. So it works in a lot of ways similar to some other platforms. So if you say, for example, I was like, oh, I forgot to say blah, blah, blah. I wanted to add something in. You can certainly do that. You can choose whichever camera it is that you wanted to use, your microphone, and I guess if you wanted to share, you could also even share your screen. So if you wanted to record, you would just click this. Let me see what this down. Record into script or record new layer. So it gives you the option of whether you want it to be embedded into this particular video or not. So that's pretty good. And so far, both recording capabilities worked. I think the only issue that I found was basically it takes a minute for the content, particularly if you're using Squadcast. Let me pull myself back up here. So particularly if you're using Squadcast, it will take a minute for your video to appear in either Squadcast so that you can download it, or in particular in the app. It takes a little bit longer, but you do have the ability to edit in the web version of Descript. So you have that option. And I think I showed you what the app looked like. So this is the app. So like I said, I have the app on dark, whatever, but it looks the same as the web version. So that is it for today I wanted to show you how I export, or how you can export. So you can come up here to publish. And then for publishing, you have the option of going to any of these places. A lot of them obviously are podcast places. But if you have a YouTube channel, then you can do that and put in all of your information. And then you just have to sign into your YouTube account in order for you to be able to send this video there. Or if you want to download it, you would come over here to the export tab. and then select, are you doing the video, the audio? Do you want to do a GIF, transcripts, blah, blah, blah. And then you would come here to export and you would say, do you want the current composition, the entire thing, or do you only want the scene that your cursor may be on? And so you want to have the current composition. And then here you can then choose the resolution. So I would want the max, and you would want to have high quality, and then you could do whatever you need to for the audio, and then you would just export, and this would then download to your computer. So again, if you're even watching this on the replay, please leave a comment. I want to hear if you want to see these types of videos. In the future, I plan on doing them this month. I don't know what order I'm going to do them in, but they will be AI tools that you can either use for marketing, for video creation, whether that's recording or editing, and I'd like to share those with, or even repurposing. So let me know if you have any questions, and I can even come back and do another more in-depth version of this, or maybe on a particular feature that you talk about. And so you're just going to be able this week or this month. I keep saying this week. This month, you'll be able to experiment with me and look at some of these AI tools that are out there. And I hope that you appreciated and enjoyed this particular one with Descript. Sorry that it was, I'm not familiar with Descript as much as I used to be, because it's been a little over a year since I've used it, but I can say I am impressed. I liked it. And Capwing is on the list. I plan on doing Capwing. I just don't know if that'll be next week or the week after. But I am impressed with Descript, and it is definitely a tool that I think I'm going to start to use, particularly for interviews, because I do interviews for my clients. And this is as equal to a StreamYard or a Restream that I've used in the past with regards to recording. Obviously, if I want to do a live stream, it does not. I don't know if they plan on doing that. That is a really good, hopeful question for them, is whether they plan to incorporate the ability to live stream. It really will only be worth your while live streaming from a platform like Squadcast if Squadcast is sort of a designated, approved vendor to a LinkedIn, a YouTube, a Instagram, a Facebook, and all of those, where you don't have to then get the stream key and do all of that kind of rigmarole, which is usually the case with tools like Riverside. The only ones that I know of that do live streams direct without you needing to jump through hoops is StreamYard and Restream. So anyway, that's my take on Descript, and I hope that you enjoyed exploring this AI tool with me, and I'll see you next week, same time. I'll be here on a new tool. All right, so take care. Thank you all. Bye.